What's going on, fight fans? It's going down. Mayweather, Pacquiao, MGM Grand, Las Vegas, May 2nd. The contracts have been signed. It's so close. Some people are still not getting too excited because they're not sure until the final day of the fight if it's gonna happen. It's the closest it's ever been. It's history in the making. It's Ali Frazier, Hagler Hearns, Lewis Tyson. This is history, and it's about to be a witness. Hopefully, fingers crossed, nothing goes wrong. These two are a match made in heaven. One likes to go forward, one likes to go back, one's a counter puncher, one's aggressive, but who's going to win? What I'm going to attempt to do is an unbiased prediction to who is going to win using stats, facts, the history, etc., and try to come to an unbiased conclusion as to who will win. I may be completely wrong. It's so close. It can go either way, but we're gonna have a look at this. It's gonna be great. I can't wait. All there's left to say is let's get ready to rumble. I think what we're gonna start off with is the strengths of both fighters. We all know Mayweather. He's got that long reach for welterweight. He loves to keep his opponents at bay with that reach, stay on the outside. He's got that height as well. That helps him as well. He likes to find the outside. It gives him a lot of chance to hit and move away from his opponent because he's got that extra leverage. Very elusive. He's incredible with his head movement. He's hard to hit. I think that's one of his key strength is his elusiveness. He's so hard to hit, and opponents get very frustrated when fighting him because he's so hard to hit. He's got hand speed. His hand speed is very different to Manny Pacquiao's hand speed. His is pot shots, so he'll hit you and he's out, and it's very fast. You don't see it happening. He's got brilliant movement, brilliant footwork, and he's a master counter puncher. That's pretty much the main strength of Floyd Mayweather. There are others, but I'm just going to go through the main ones just to save time. Now, moving on to Floyd Mayweather's weaknesses. He wouldn't be described as an aggressive fighter, which, I mean, it's not exactly a weakness. He is a defensive fighter, but in the scenario where if he was falling behind on points, if Pacquiao took the first few rounds up to and Floyd needed to play catch up, that might work against him. But it's not necessarily a direct weakness. Only in that sort of scenario it can be a weakness. He also doesn't have a very high work rate. We've seen this in his last several fights, and as he's got older, his work rate has dropped. In his earlier fights against Gatti, Castillo, you saw him. He had a higher work rate. Now he's a lot more relaxed. Doesn't throw as much punches, but he has become more accurate. He does have less power than Pacquiao. I've seen a lot of debates about this on YouTube comments, people saying Floyd's got more power than Pacquiao. I don't believe he has. I don't think he has enough power to knock him out. Even though some people do say this, I find this to be quite unrealistic. And I think those are probably the weaknesses that Floyd Mayweather may find coming into the fight against Manny Pacquiao. Now we're just gonna do a keys to victory for Floyd Mayweather. Actually, before we do that, just want you to look at this article of an interview he did just after the fight was announced with Fight Hype TV. And he makes a few points which are interesting and may give a clue as to the game plan Floyd's going to take into the fight. If you read, he does say, I have a longer reach, I'm taller, I'm stronger, and I'm more accurate. I agree with all things there, apart from when he says he's stronger. I don't believe he's stronger than Pacquiao. I think Pacquiao does have more strength. The numbers prove it. I think anyone that's seen both fighters fight will know this, unless you're sort of a die-hard Floyd fan who says he's going to knock Pacquiao, etc. Something silly like that. I think majority of people can see that Pacquiao has the punching power. But he has got a reach, he is taller, he is more accurate. I mean, and I think the keys to victory for Floyd is going to be pretty much what he does with his other fights. Staying on the outside, using his reach, his speed, his in and out pot shots, being elusive, staying away from the ropes, making Pacquiao look stupid or silly, by making him miss, frustrating Pacquiao. I think that's the keys to victory for Floyd Mayweather. Now, moving on to Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao, his strengths, his key strengths, is his power. He's got great power in those punches. When he hits, he has hurt his opponents before. He knocks them down. He's not knocked opponents out, but he has enough power to hurt his opponents. You can see it's visible on the opponent's face. They bruise, they bust up, they fall to the ground. You can see it visibly shaking his opponents up with his punches. If you compare the Cotto fight with Mayweather, you can see Pacquiao hurt Cotto, dropped him, I think, twice in the fight, whereas Mayweather didn't really throw a significant punch to Miguel Cotto that hurt him significantly. Cotto did not hit the canvas not once in the fight. So Pacquiao I have to explain myself because I know there's going to be a lot of backlash and people arguing this case about the power. I've seen it already. So, but they are probably die-hard Mayweather fans. But logical sense tells you Pacquiao has the punching power. Now, Pacquiao also have explosiveness in his combos, and he's fast, extremely fast combos, and they're hard punching combos. So he's got to throw 3, 4, sometimes 5 punches in bursts, and they're not. There's some to the bodies, some to the head, left, right. You don't know where they're coming from, and they're fast and hard, explosive punches. He's also an aggressive fighter. So if he was falling behind on points, he has got that aggression to assert himself, to catch up. He's also a southpaw, which may help him in this fight. Like I mentioned before, Floyd has not fought a southpaw on the stage in a very long time. Also, Pacquiao showed, I think, against his fight against Algeria, another opponent, he's very good at cutting off the ring. Obviously, none of these fighters are anything like Floyd Mayweather. Vice versa, Floyd Mayweather has never fought anyone like Pacquiao. But Pacquiao has shown against good opponents he can cut the ring off, and which he's going to have to do if he wants to catch Mayweather. His weaknesses, Pacquiao's weaknesses, he sometimes has a tendency to throw wildly. So he gets frustrated very easily as well, especially against, I wouldn't say easily, but some opponents such as Marquez, even sometimes during the fight against Algeria, he looked like he was getting frustrated and was throwing wild shots at times. So he's impatient as well. And sometimes he does have a desire to go for the KO. I don't think he's gonna knock. If Pacquiao is to win, he would not knock Mayweather out. It is also for him. If he wants to win, I do think he would win via points. He's not going to knock Mayweather out, I don't think. He is shorter, and he has the shorter reach, which was, it can be a disadvantage, also an advantage, depending how you use that, but generally it would be seen as a disadvantage. Pacquiao's keys to victory, he needs to establish the jab. He needs to have a good jab coming into the fight with Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather got caught with jabs against in his last fight with Maidana. He did get caught for Maidana. Caught him with some good jabs, and if Maidana can catch him with a jab, I'm sure Manny Pacquiao can. Also against Miguel Cotto, sometimes Cotto will beat him to the jab, so he needs to have a good jab coming into the fight with Floyd Mayweather. Pacquiao, he throws good straight punches, and the straight punches are harder to see compared to swinging punches. They reach their target a lot quicker. They're harder to see than straight swinging punches. Now Pacquiao, he is a straight punching type of fighter rather than a swinging hook kind of fighter. He needs to stick to that. He needs to be the busier fighter in the ring. He needs to capitalize on the fact that Floyd Mayweather has a lower work rate. He needs to look busier. He needs to throw more punches and hit Floyd with more punches and harder punches. He needs to not go for the KO. I think that would be, it can be disastrous for him if he went for the KO. It would just lead to him being exposed and looking silly at times. He needs to take it to points. Now, just want to look towards the last 6 fighters both these fighters have fought. We are going to start with Floyd Mayweather. He fought Maidana twice. And before that there was Canelo, who was a brilliant fighter at the time, undefeated, very good fighter. Robert Guerrero, Miguel Cotto, who was one of Floyd Mayweather's most difficult opponents. I think Cotto busted him up in that fight. Floyd did not look amazing in that fight. And then you have Victor Ortiz, the infamous sucker punch. Not really much of a fight. Now, one thing that's very important to mention with these opponents: none of these fighters are described as speedy or fast fighters or fast punching fighters. I don't think any of these have fast hands. Maidana, Canelo, Cotto is the most, I'd say he's at best medium. So they're not fast opponents. His last 6 fighters were quite slow, sluggish type of fighters. Also, a lot of them are quite flat-footed. Maidana definitely, Canelo, Robert Guerrero. I think Cotto, he does go on the toes, but the last 4 fights, they were flat-footed fighters. And these fighters I would describe as swinger punching fighters. So they're not really, they're more prone to throwing the swinging hooks and uppercuts rather than the sharp straights and jabs like Manny Pacquiao. They're more swinging punchers like Maidana, he swings wildly. Canelo, he's more swings, very wide as well, swings. Robert Guerrero, he's more of a swinging puncher. Cotto as well. Victor Ortiz, he does do straights, but that fight didn't really go too far. He did fight Zab Judah, which was a very long time ago, but it did. Zab Judah did very well against Floyd. He did lose the fight, but he did do very well against Floyd Mayweather, and we will look into that a few clips to see how he does against southpaws. I think in that fight, Floyd's glove did touch the canvas, but the ref did not see it. So that's a breakdown of Floyd Mayweather's last few opponents. Now, looking at Pacquiao's last 6 opponents, he had Chris Algieri, who he fought most recently. Now, Algieri got a lot of it. Pacquiao did get a bit of slack. Algieri is quite new. He did very well against Ruslan Provodnikov, who is causing big stir up in the light welterweight division. And Algieri, I think he did very well in that fight, even though he took a serious punch early on in the fight. He came back, he boxed Ruslan Provodnikov, and he did beat Ruslan Provodnikov. Now, Algieri is quite an important fight for Pacquiao because he does have the same reach as Floyd Mayweather, and he's taller than Floyd Mayweather. However, I'm not saying that makes Pacquiao better than Floyd Mayweather. No way. I'm just saying he's taking a little bit of experience of fighting a decent opponent with a long reach. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to beat Floyd Mayweather. No, not at all. I'm just saying he's got a little bit of experience fighting someone with a long reach and height. he's come across that. Obviously, Mayweather is miles ahead of Chris Algieri. He fought Timothy Bradley. Now, Bradley is quite an elusive fighter as well, and he proved this against Manny Pacquiao when he had his hands down against the ropes. He was moving his head side to side, and Pacquiao could not hit him for a little while. So Pacquiao Bradley's got brilliant movement. He has got good head movement as well. So he's fought someone with good movement, which that experience he can take with him to the fight against Floyd. Brandon Rios, it was an easy fight. There's not much to say about Brandon Rios. Now, the infamous Manuel Marquez fight before that, when he got knocked out. Both fighters fought Manuel Marquez. Pacquiao definitely struggled a lot more against Marquez. He's always had a struggle with Marquez. It's Pacquiao's boogeyman, so to speak. And before that, he fought Bradley, and then it was Marquez again. I do want to focus on Marquez. A lot of people claim that Marquez is a counterpuncher. Floyd's a counterpuncher. Now, a lot of professionals have also said Floyd will KO Manny Pacquiao because Marquez did, and they're both counterpunchers, which I think is illogical. I want you to have a quick look at the article. As you can see, Stephen A. Smith, he says that Floyd will KO Marquez. Now, Stephen A. Smith is a well-known, very knowledgeable boxing expert, and he claims that Floyd will KO Manny Pacquiao. We'll play a quick footage of the interview where he does say this.
It was very, very bad, okay? And he got knocked out. And especially how he got knocked out. Coming in, got caught with the straight right, coming in, counter-punching. That's Floyd Mayweather's specialty. Boy, the only thing that I regret is that, well, I don't like seeing Manny Pacquiao like that because he was on the show and I liked him so much. But, the only thing I regret is not really seeing Floyd Mayweather do that to him.
So, Stephen A. Smith, he makes it very clear. He feels that Mayweather will knock Pacquiao out because he's a counterpuncher. So is Marquez. I will have to disagree. I put my hands up. Stephen A. Smith has a lot more knowledge than myself when it comes to boxing. But I think his decision to say this is not a logical reason or a logical decision, but an emotional decision. They're both American, Floyd Mayweather and Stephen A. They're both African American, Stephen A. Smith and Floyd Mayweather. And I feel Stephen A. Smith maybe has that affinity to Floyd Mayweather because they share the same same ethnicity, and this happens throughout boxing with the Puerto Ricans, with the Amir Khan and the Pakistanis. You see a lot of Amir Khan fans saying a lot of crazy things. He's gonna defeat Pacquiao, he's gonna beat Cotto, he's gonna beat Mayweather as well. This is more because they're backing their man up, and it is boxing. I don't blame them. It happens, but I'm just gonna explain why I think this is not going to happen. Floyd is not going to knock Pacquiao out just because he's a counterpuncher. I'm going to show you some clips. When you're focusing on these clips of Marquez and the way he counters, notice that when he counters, he moves forward. So when he counters, he actually pushes forward when he counters, rather than Floyd Mayweather, who leans back. He puts his weight in and his back and with his punch, and he follows his punches through, especially the knockout punch that knocked Pacquiao out. He went drill that home. Floyd Mayweather punches and he's out again. Big difference. He's also quite flat-footed and he stands his ground. He doesn't like backing up Marquez. He's very stubborn. He likes to back his opponents up. He likes to back Pacquiao up. One of the Pacquiao faced against Marquez is he couldn't get Marquez on the back foot, which Pacquiao likes to do. He likes to fight on the front foot, have his opponent on the back foot. So just watch the clips. I will speak through the clips just to look out for how he's countering. So what you'll notice, Pacquiao backing Marquez up, Marquez hitting straight back. When Pacquiao hits, Marquez wants to hit straight away, pushing forward. So when Pacquiao pushes forward, Marquez also pushes forward. He wants to be the dominant fighter in there, the aggressor in that fight. As you can see, he tries to trade with Pacquiao. And you can see he's very stationary. Marquez, not much head movement. He's not really moving around, swinging his head about like Mayweather. He's drilling his punches, coming forward with his punches, pushing Pacquiao back. He likes to move forward while he's countering. That's the infamous knockout punch. Look at it, he moves into his punches. He's moving forward, and he uses his back and drills the punch home. Mayweather does not have the power to do that, nor he counters moving backwards. He leans back, and we will see clips of Mayweather and how he counter punches as well. Now going with Floyd Mayweather, you see Guerrero coming forward, Mayweather leaning back, moving away. He's very light on his feet. He's on his toes when he's moving away. He's leaning back. He's not drilling those punches forward. Complete opposite of how Marquez counters. Marquez, I mean, that's the issue. There's a lot of different types of counter punchers. Just cause Marquez is a counterman doesn't make him the same as Floyd Mayweather. There's levels to counter punch in different ways. Mayweather again moving out of way. He punches. He moves back. He's not dedicating himself to the punch as much as Marquez. He moves back, leaning back. The weight is on the back foot. Very different to how Marquez. Marquez also likes to feint when he counter punches. There you go. He gets back against the ropes against Barrera. Sorry, not De La Hoya. And there you go, leaning back while he punches. I mean, his punches don't really hurt his opponents. They stun them because they don't see the punch, but it's not really shaking them, not really hurting his opponent. They're point-scoring punches. There's a beautiful counter punch to Marquez. But they're not really hurting the opponents. They're not knocking them down and not knocking them out. So to say that he's going to knock Pacquiao out is just illogical. I mean, history has proven that he's not been able to do that to anyone. So, I mean, I think it makes it pretty clear, just because Marquez is a counterpuncher and Floyd is a counterpuncher does not necessarily mean they're both going to have the same results against Pacquiao. Firstly, because they both counterpunch in very different ways, almost complete opposites. Marquez, very aggressive, likes to move forward when he counterpunches, whereas Floyd Mayweather, more defensive and likes to lean back, doesn't really dedicate himself to the punch as much. It's quick pot shots, and Marquez has more power than Floyd Mayweather. I have to come out and say that. I mean, Marquez does have punching power, as he's proven. I don't think Floyd has enough power to knock Pacquiao out. So Stephen A. Smith, I think what he's saying is more of an emotional based judgment on how things are going to go. He wants to back his man Mayweather, even though Mayweather shits on him. Stephen A. Smith still wants to ride his yes, but that's Stephen A. Smith's decision. Now we're gonna just look at how Pacquiao did against Algieri, which is interesting because Algerian, this is round 7 we're starting off at. He did pretty good in this round. Algieri's got the same reach length as Floyd Mayweather, 72 inches, I believe. I can check that. But he's taller than Floyd, but you can see he hit him with the right there, but he was able to keep Pacquiao at bay at this round, which Floyd will do. I mean, Floyd is on another level compared to Algieri. So if Algieri was able to keep Pacquiao at bay in this manner, it'd be brilliant to see how Floyd Mayweather, with the same reach but a lot more experience, how Pacquiao deals with Floyd Mayweather, because there were times when Algieri is successful. As you can see, Pacquiao did catch him with a few shots, but it gives you a rough idea of how it might go down with Floyd. I mean, if Algieri, like I said, if he can keep Pacquiao at bay with the jab and the straight, that long arms, and stay out of harm's way, Floyd, he's going to do very successful, and that's keys to victory for. If Floyd can stay on the outside and dance his way to victory, and Pacquiao will be in trouble with that. If Floyd can stay calm and stay on the outside, which I think is very possible, he's got the better fight in the bag. So I mean, Pacquiao, he has shown he does at times struggle with someone who's quite elusive. I mean, Algieri is not as elusive. Floyd is a lot more elusive, so he's going to struggle a lot more with Floyd. But with someone who's got that long range and is a boxer, Algieri also doesn't really have much power. So it'll be interesting to see how Pacquiao deals with that. Also, Floyd Mayweather, he likes to lean back when he fights. Pacquiao likes to come forward. It's going to be brilliant, this fight. That's what makes this fight so brilliant. It's going to be brilliant to see how it plays out. So we'll have to wait and see with that. Now, just want to have a quick look at Floyd versus Zab Judah. Zab is a southpaw. He's not got as much power as Floyd, but you can see he caught Floyd and made Floyd look quite silly at times, because he was quite defeated. The jab, the straight, he looked very good against Floyd at the time. He did lose the fight, but you can see he got caught Floyd with some good shots. Now Pacquiao, I think Pacquiao might the speed, they're both quite similar. Pacquiao is getting on, but he's definitely got more hurting power than Zab Judah. So I mean, if it was Pacquiao catching Floyd with these shots, Floyd did struggle a little against this southpaw. This was a long time ago, bearing in mind. Will he still struggle? We don't know. But you can see Zab Judah had some success against Floyd Mayweather, who's a southpaw. So I mean, if Manny Pacquiao can give Floyd Mayweather a bit of trouble with the southpaw stance, with that speed and that power coming forward, Floyd might be in trouble if Floyd can't keep him at bay. We have seen Zab Judah penetrate Floyd's defense with that southpaw, and southpaw against that Philly shell. We'll just see how that works out. Now, the conclusion. These two, whoever wins this fight, I think it is going to go to points. I don't think any of them has the ability to knock the other opponent out. It is going to be a very close fight either way, and it's going to be a very good fight to watch. But for me, based on the last few fights that Floyd has fought flat-footed, swinger puncher type fights. Maidana last 2 times, Canelo, Robert Guerrero. None of them very slow fighters as well. They're very slow. Even Cotto, they're not really fast fighters. So I don't know how he's gonna deal with Pacquiao's speed. Can he handle it? Whereas Pacquiao has fought sort of elusive fighters. He's had some experience against elusive fast fighters. So I mean, I'm going with Pacquiao 45 to 55 to Pacquiao. I may be completely wrong. Floyd might just keep him on the outside, jab all night, and dance around all night for 12 rounds and win it. But I can see Pacquiao being able to cut Floyd down and catching him with shots with those fast hands and those fast combos and looking aggressive. I mean, if Maidana caught him, if Cotto caught him with some good shots, I'm sure Pacquiao can. Pacquiao's got more accuracy, more speed, and he throws faster in bunches than these fighters. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I'm going Pacquiao 45 to 55 to take it on points. Tell me what you think. If you think if I'm wrong, who's gonna win, and tell me why. Like, share, subscribe, hit me up, Tiger Media.